Cryptilians and crypto crackheads, today is Wednesday, March 31st, and you're about to get typified. New viewers, there is not another YouTube crypto channel like this one. You won't find one. And so here's what you're about to see. I'm not going to read white papers and tell you how awesome projects are and all the reasons why about the CEO, what they're doing, and all these partnerships and all that stuff. We're not going to talk about that. I am going to show you how to maximize your profits in this short-lived bull run, which won't last forever. It'll be rather short-lived. Christmas, New Year, somewhere around there. That's when it's going to end. I have a market cycle and crashes video in the library of my description section. The party will be short-lived. So because it's short-lived and it's glorious, instead of reading you white papers and all that stuff, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you, particularly with altcoins, how to maximize your profits in this short-lived bull run. That's it. In other words, when you're clicking around with your money, I'm going to show you how to be confident with it and take profits like a boss instead of sitting there praying, owe me to $100 or whatever they think it's going to get to. $1. Yeah, that's not going to happen. So instead of, I'm going to convert you from a buyer and prayer to a profit-taking boss. Like you're going to be a PIMP of profit-taking, right? So yeah, that's what we're going to do. So let's get started. All right. So Cryptilians and Crypto Crackhead Nation, there is something that I have been forgetting to show you. And I have these lines here because I was just recording and I realized I left myself big and you couldn't see anything. But anyway, that'll just make it more efficient. And this will actually be a shorter video because of it, because I got to go soon. Soccer practice for a child. Anyway, so you'll finally be blessed with a hard stop and a short video. So this is Bitcoin on the monthly scale specifically. Each candle is 1 month, right? Okay, so zooming into current time, current price action, where I have these yellow, I counted the number of green months in a row. Okay, as you can see, 1 month, 2 month, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, green in a row. Let's try to figure out in the history of Bitcoin, what happens when you get that many in a row? What happens next, right? Just kind of see if there's a pattern here. And there is. So here, this wasn't actually the bull run. This is when it bottomed and it raced up to 14,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not even 6. What happened then? Woo! But this is not bull run territory, so I'm not expecting all this to happen like 6 months in a row down. But 5 is it capped out, then it had to correct. Okay, all right. So let's go to 2017. So what you're looking at now is 2017, that very glorious bull run. 2017. Okay, let's look. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and here was its all-time high. It was trying to pass it, and on the 5th month, it started here, went up to here, got rejected from the all-time high, went all the way down, and then came right back up to where it started, all within 1 month. So that's what story is being told with this candle, right? So I can tell all that by just looking at this candle shape. There was a war happening here. It was a roller coaster. And the book that I have in the link description section has a chapter or 2 or 3 on candlestick formations because they're really important. Like I can tell all that. Like I don't have to go to the daily to see what happened. I can tell the candle started here because the body itself. So this is the body, right? And these things right here are the wicks. So this is a wick. This is a body. This had a big body and almost no wick. See that? So the body is where it opens and closes. If the open is lower than the close, that means it's green. And if the open is higher than the close, it's red, obviously, right? But the body itself, like the brick, right? The brick and a whisker. The brick is where it opened and closed. But there's a ton of crap that happens in a month. Roller coasters, wars, battles. Battles are fought and lost. The bears and the bulls, sideliners joining one side, and then overpowering the other side. There are some serious freaking battles that happen in a month. And this candle was like a nasty one. That was intense. So I can tell that just by looking at it. Started here, went up first, got rejected. So this line is its all-time high. It screamed down, and it had to have happened quickly because this happened in 1 month. And after it screamed down, after getting rejected here, then it screamed back up and stopped right where it began. And then the next month started there and pretty much didn't go down at all. It just charged right up. Okay, so that's all that happened in that 1 month. One thing you'll notice, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4 green candles in a row. What did the last green candle look like? It ended bullish. Bullish meaning the body, the close, is super close to as high as it got the entire time. So at the end of the month, it was charging up. And instead of having gotten here and leaving a whisker, like a wick, and it had only a candle body that big, with this being green and this being a wick, that wouldn't be a charging up at the end of the month. This charged up at the end of the month and then corrected the next month. I think it's like 32%, 36%, right? So it closed. The last green candle closed very strong. Let's look at another good run. How many green candles month in a row did we get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What did the last green candle do? It started here, barely went down, just like maybe 5%. And it might have gone up a tiny bit first, but somewhere between there, it went like this within the first week or two. And then it screamed up and it closed the month. So it was charging up. So what is today? It's the last day of the month. What pattern are we seeing? Before a correction, price charges up at the end of the month after a bunch of green monthly candles. You see what I'm saying here? All right. Is the same thing going to play out? I don't know, but we're stacking up pretty freaking good reasons on top of all the other reasons I've been very biased towards the downside, but I'm not the house still. I still don't feel like I'm the house to take on leverage shorts because there are so many other things going against my bias and my gut. So that means I have to ignore my gut. I don't have more than 50% chances of being correct. Or the tools I have do not give me the feeling that I do. I still think I'm going to be right. I think it's going to go down below $50,000 and hit somewhere around $42,000. And I think it's going to happen in the month of April. I think it's going to happen around the 10th to the 15th. But it's going to start. It could happen a little later. But anyway, I still think I'm going to be right. But I cannot click around with confidence. So it doesn't matter what I feel. Doesn't matter what I think. I'm not clicking because my brain says, I can't configure the right odds, can't move, don't click, turn off finger, kitchen's closed, right? So the house is closed. You're the casino, you're not the gambler. So, but the reasons are stacking up, but I don't have the odds far enough in my favor to be confident clicking around, taking on shorts. Anyway, so look, so 2 corrections in a row, the month ended strong near the top, then a 38% correction. Okay, this was a blow off top, so it's not quite the same. So those are the only 2 long runs of green past. So this was the all-time high. So I'm starting here, right? Just 1 and 2. End of the bull run. Okay, that's the patterns we see. And what was the total max that we found? Was it 5? 5 green candles? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, and so 5 in a row. And the last one, see this? And how strong that ended? It closed near the top. You don't see a wick popping out. There's no wick at the top. That means that's where it friggin' closed, at the top. It closed. So that was a strong close month. And so was the run before it, the last green candle. So look, now we have 6 green months in a row. 3, 4, 5, 6. I kind of crossed this one out twice, but yeah, 6. Okay, what's this candle doing? It's closing strong. Now, so remember how I told you I think this could be a beginning of week attack where it starts off, actually, let's just go to the week, where I said I think this entire week which just started 2.5 days ago, I said the first few days, I think it's going to charge up, and then the rest of the week, it'll actually close red. I still think this candle will close red. But you know how when I talk about RSIs and how they get into unison with each other, right? And when they become in unison, that's when the moves happen, or are very extremely likely to happen, right? When all the RSIs are saying the same thing down or saying the same thing up. Sometimes the stochastics being in unison is pretty powerful too. But I think the RSI is even more powerful when they're all in unison. So can attacks. An end of week or a beginning of week attack can coincide and be in unison with an end of month attack. So the beginning of this week, the first half of it, is the end of the month of March. Beginning of a week attack, unison with end of month attack going up, trying to get people to be bullish and take on leverage long positions so that the people who have a bearish sentiment, and it could be the exact people, like this could be hedge fund managers really holding up price. They have they see what I'm seeing. They feel how I feel, but they can't put on enough short positions without people being bullish and putting on longs, right? It's a zero sum. It's technically a negative sum, right? Because the exchanges have fees. So it's actually a negative sum game. There's not one winner for every loser. There are actually more losers and break-even people than that because the fees. But anyway, because you have 3 players. You don't just have a winner and a loser. You have a winner, a loser, and exchange who is typically always the winner. So anyway, and that's why it's so important to be the house. Because it's not a zero-sum game. You don't just have to trade against other people. You're having exchanges also chipping away at your profits. You have 3 players. It's a war of 3 armies. That's why you need to be the house. You don't just click freaking around. Ooh, Harmony? Oh, it's green. Oh, this white paper's awesome. That's how you get screwed. You're going to get so screwed doing that stuff. Clicking around based off of white papers. That's like the worst thing you can do. And honestly, when you see coins being shilled like all over YouTube channels, if you do already have it, you might want to wait until you see the hype like getting some steam and it goes up, and that's the time you want to be selling. You don't want to be doing what everybody else is doing. And if you're not in those coins that are getting all this damn YouTube hype, if you catch the hype early enough, it actually isn't that bad. Like if you got into OMI in February, if I got into OMI in February because I caught, this one's going to hype, hell yeah, I would probably try to ride that, I don't know, to 2 or 3 cents or something like that, maybe even 5. Because it could happen quickly, but if it ended up not being so aggressive, I'd probably get out and get into small alts where the real money is, right? Anyway, so the beginning of a week attack is in unison with an end of month attack to follow the pattern we just saw from 2017, and we have more green candles than before. I don't know if this has ever happened before, people. And you know what one of the favorite sayings of cryptillions and crypto crackheads is? You gotta get down to get up. And you have to say it just like that with a fancy P at the end. I mean, look. Okay, so 2013 probably had 1, 2, 3, 4. That was a sick month. Oh my gosh. Like how awesome would it be to be buying Bitcoin at freaking $85? Yeah, there's no other time in Bitcoin history that I can find. Now, did it happen in 2009, 2010? Probably. But it was like a small cap alt at that time, right? It was underground. No one really knew about it, all that stuff. It was just a bunch of computer nerds. And now those are rich computer nerds, at least a lot of them are, who didn't sell when it got to 100. Even though a lot of people sold when it got to 100, they were multimillionaires. But the people who didn't, they're multi-billionaires, and there are several of them out there, and they are huge proponents of crypto because they don't have to work anymore. They just try to dedicate their lives to building adoption for the rest of the world to join the frickin' party. Even though you're not going to necessarily become a multi-billionaire just by buying and holding like they did, having a 5 million X run, not percentage, X, which no other asset in the history of the world has done. Because because they were getting it like at a penny and stuff, you know, and then mining it on their normal computer and getting like 10,000 per block reward. You know, block reward every 12 minutes. Like you could get like 50,000 Bitcoin in a day because there are only like, you know, 500 people in the world trying to mine it. Or like maybe 200 or something like that. But anyway, I don't know how many were. But anyway, so in modern Bitcoin history, this hasn't ever happened before. Mixed with the idea that cosas verdes puede ver el futuro, como siempre me están diciendo. Somebody requested, hey, you haven't spoken Spanish yet. Okay, well, you speak Spanish. You know, mixed with the idea that everybody's thinking I can see the dang future, and I keep saying I have a bearish sentiment. This never happened before. And it's ending strong, like, I don't know. And it's March 31st. So that's that. I'll leave you at that. However, on other time frames, I'm simply not confident with taking shorts because it's completely possible that this next month starts the first entire week by screaming up to new highs. I mean, this could go to $74,000, which in turn would make my guess completely off by several thousands of dollars, because the moving average, to which on the weekly scale, I think it really must. What? Weekly. Oh, I have my I have my lines all met. I was doing something a little different here. I was gonna say that looks wrong. I will do that. I'll just leave these on. Okay, so if this were to scream up at the beginning of April, right, for an entire week, right, just first of 4 or 4.5 weeks, whatever, however many, like 4.5-ish weeks, if it goes up, what happened, and it closes up here, you have roughly 3/4 of the month left, so you're still on the same candle, and that could be a big wick up, even though the candle body starts here, right? And that would allow this weekly tick to tick up about there, and it would be at close to $45,000. And then it screams down the last 3 weeks of that month, hits it, pings back off, closes here. Honestly, I mean, what could happen here is honestly, and this is how I think it'll go down now that it's taken Bitcoin so long to do this, to correct, which I'm almost 100% certain it will. But I can't take on shorts because it could scream up to $74,000 first, and then go down to $44,000, $45,000. It could easily happen. But I can't even remember what I was going to say. Something about it pulls up this 21 moving average of the weekly. I lost my train of thought, but anyway, so this is what I'm seeing. Okay. It's just, it's adding to my reasons. So that's what I see overall market sentiment. Now, what does this mean if you're holding altcoins? I've said this earlier that I believe altcoins in the situation that BEPRO happens to find itself. Let's go to a small time frame, the 2 hour, where it has it's not only created a base, but has proved a base, right? It's proved its base. Look, it's actually following the freaking scribbles I did. That's kind of weird. So these are not sell signals. Don't put limit sells at 3 cents. I just scribbled, right? But anyway, yeah, it could actually scream right up here to 3.3 cents, like in the next few, within a day. Like it could. So if it does scream up, since we do have what I believe this will be a brick wall for it, it typically pierces through. So if it happens soon, it could scream up to 3.6, maybe 4 cents, maybe hit the top of the range, pierce through, and then that would be awesome. What type of range? Awesome profit taking range. Why would you want to take profit instead of buying and praying until December? Because if you sell it here, you can buy way more back down here. And when you buy more and price goes up, you would not only have more BEPRO, but BEPRO at a higher price, right? So it's like compounding like how awesome your money is. And you're taking, so that's what taking profits like a boss means, right? That's boss level profit taking, because you use it to get more. And when you do get more, then the price goes up. Like, it's just amazing. Anyway, so what I think this means, if this ends up happening, let's say we go, Bitcoin goes to 74,000 first, and screams down 30,000 bucks. Completely could happen. Is maybe not that aggressively, maybe 68,000 or something, or 70,000 down to 45,000, something like that. It can, that could happen. 20K move can easily happen. Okay, very easily. And honestly, I'm almost thinking next month is going to start green. I don't think it's going to scream down right away, because I think it would be too obvious, and folks who are looking to make a lot of money off shorts, who are helping to propel this to help bait newbies in watching other YouTube channels talking about head and shoulders and stuff, which Bitcoin does have a head and shoulders forming on like the daily scale. But anyway, just completely baiting people, because it's gonna fall flat, people, I'm telling you. But anyway, they might feel that they don't have enough longs, so they can short on their faces, right? Because you can't short if there's no long to short on. But anyway, so if that ends up actually happening, and let's say the second week of April, it really starts screaming down hard, like big, fast correction, then for your small alts like BEPRO, which has hit a low end, proved the low end, has awesome support, I don't think this will scream down. I actually think that BEPRO could be one of those coins that benefits from people selling Bitcoin and being scared. Then they look, okay, where else can I make money? They see, holy crap, this has got a great base, I'm buying this. That could really make this scream. And that could make it wick way past the top of the range if something like that happens. So for coins like this, that could be really good. And it's going to be hit or miss, folks. It's hit or miss. If you hold 20 small cap or 20 altcoins, 100 million in cap or less, if you hold 20 of them, I don't know, it could be 10 and 10. 10 will fly. No, maybe not. Maybe 6 will fly. 6 will crash, and then the last 8 or whatever would be neutral, something like that, right? Did I do that math? 6, and 8, yeah. So it will be hit or miss. So I see a lot of questions. What does that mean for alts? It means hit or miss. But if the coins that you're focused on have done something like this, it's more likely to stay neutral or be a hit, as opposed to be a miss, right? Something like Veracity, which is that was a pretty good bump. But still, folks, that's not much past its all-time high. Can't go up forever, right? 42%. What did I guess earlier? I think I said, it could easily hit 60% run, right? On top of this, don't worry, you don't want to sell tops. You want to sell profit. Okay, if you sold it for profit, you're good, because the chance that you can buy it back after taking profit here way below the point you took profit is huge. Like, I think it's like 90%. So don't worry about it. You can grow money somewhere else more than the 60% it might run, and then come back when Veracity is screaming down with Bitcoin, comes way down here, probably to form a base there. You can buy it way less. And now that you've already grown your money while all this crap's happened, you're buying Veracity at a lower price with more money, right? Because you found something that's going to do more than a 60-70% run before it peters out and hits this, or it could do this. It could only come down to here, which means you're still buying it back lower, but not much lower. One of those two could happen. So the miss part is, so BEPRO is a perfect example of a strong base. It has a pretty damn high chance of being a neutral or a hit coin. Hit mean people selling Bitcoin, getting scared. Where do I make money now? Where do I make money now? Zoom, BEPRO looks good. Boom, that's a hit. Or a bunch of people, where do I make money now? I sold my Bitcoin. They just overlooked BEPRO. But current holders, holders and sideliners like me of BEPRO, we don't convert to sellers, right? Because we don't have a reason to. There isn't a market psychology saying sell when it has an awesome base. But if Bitcoin starts screaming down and Veracity is like making all-time highs with really big bearish divergence, that is going to be the epitome of something that has an extremely high chance of being a miss, right? Does that make sense? So that is my answer spelled out. So I'm not going to go through all the darn coins today because I got to leave. I think I need to go now. So most of the coins I just, went over yesterday. They're doing the same dang things, right? So let me just screen through here, make sure nothing crazy difference happening. VIA looks the same as yesterday. Silos, is it actually going to hit that line like I said? I think it might. Nope, it's going to test the upper side of the range. And then, again, it was only 50-50, so you don't enter there. Tone. Okay, since we spoke, so this is 2 hour. This means that none of this was here on my yesterday's video. I'm pretty sure that's what that means. Or at least 12. Let's see, actually. Oh, yeah, it was down here already. I apologize. But yeah, so it did. So, but anyway, it pinged right off that line, and it wasn't pinging yesterday. It was actually going down to it. And I said, yeah, actually, this is what Tone's doing. I drew the line. Go back to my other video, just from yesterday. That's what I did. I drew this line because, oh yeah, it'll probably ping up off there, right? Even though I might not have said those exact words. Shaw, same thing. ADB, still in a no trade zone. So if I'm not into ADB, I would not get into it right now. Yeah, I mean, the daily RSI is stuck under the line. The chance of it staying stuck, and it kind of works its way like this. Maybe not to crash down or anything. Like, this isn't a bigger run where it needs to all the way correct. But the chance where it'll stay under until the moving average, the white line, kind of goes under this and makes another hump, that's pretty high. I think that's maybe a 50-50, or it could just go boom and the moving average, and it pings off and does like 2 more runs. That could easily happen. So let's see here. What size of run was that? No, that's a big run. That's probably not going to happen. Just like it's probably not going to happen with the rest either. So Bolt, we know what Bolt's doing. Let's ignore this, but be happy it's happening. It'll make it so much more glorious. Oh, Bolt's another case of the idea that it's proved its base. So this has so much more of a chance to be a neutral coin or a hit coin, assuming Bitcoin does fall, not next week, but the week after or something like that. Or perhaps starting at 8 p.m. to New York time today. By the time you're seeing this, I mean, it could be printing pretty red, depending on what part of the world, if you're sleeping as I'm doing this. GOM2, I went into detail. GOM2 and ID are the same thing. Play, holy cow, awesome. So, okay, remember, I already had this line drawn before it was printing green candles. And look to where it went and got rejected, at least temporarily. Isn't that crazy how that works? So that's how you take profit like a boss. You have darn good reason to take profit at a certain amount instead of just praying OMI goes to $1. You know that before OMI gets to $1, OMI's going to scream up here, I need to take profits because it's going to go, it's going to go down and sideways for a whole month. So during that whole month of down and sideways, I'm going to take my OMI money in Tether or Bitcoin. I'm going to go grow it somewhere else that isn't going down and sideways. And then by the time I grow it, it should be ready for me to buy at this level before it pops out, right? That's taking profits like a boss, not buying and praying. Don't buy and pray. Unless you have literally 30 minutes or less to look at crypto day. Okay. Maybe buy and pray, small cap, altcoins, but no, only not financial. So look, this is how I made the line. Look, just a lot of candle bodies on the week. See where my cursor? Week. Just look where lots of candle bodies and perhaps even, wicks. So wick. Yeah, that's it. That's all you do. Just go to the weekly, make a horizontal where there are a ton of candle bodies. That's it. It's that simple. That's where you take profits. And if the coin that you are looking at and you bought low and looking to sell high, at a calculated area, one thing I don't stress enough, you need to also look at that same coin on the Bitcoin pairing, not just the Tether pairing. Oftentimes they align, but not always. Sometimes, if you're only looking at the dollar pairing like we are, no, we're not here. This is OLT, but anyway, you might be saying, oh, I think the dollar pairing will go way up here, like an 800% run. There's no overhead resistance. Well, go to the BTC chart. There's overhead resistance here at 300% up, right? You need to look at both before you set your profit targets. So that's taking profit like a friggin' boss, a PIMP of the profits, a profit pimp. Y'all want to be a profit pimp? I don't know if that's a good word to be using. So, but anyway, yeah, we've already gone over this. Yeah, nothing's changed. So honestly, like I said, what have I been saying about this month? Probably boring. Just hit singles, folks. So, you know, if you happen to get some play or whatever you've gotten, or some VIA coin, congratulations, people who bought VIA when I was too scared to do it, because my risk tolerance for my entry specifically is not, it's actually about as low as you can get. It's not as low as you can get, but it's pretty darn low. I just focus on safe entries because I'd rather miss out than take the risk of it coming down 20% the next day. So yeah, nothing's changed. This is boring. So remember, the hardest part about clicking around confidently, okay, is yourself. It's your own brain. It is you. Reading these charts and making freaking horizontal lines by looking at it on a weekly scale, that's the easy part. You have to control you. You have to control you. You have to control your bias. You have to always understand that what is happening in price, it doesn't care what you think. It doesn't care about what you eat either. It doesn't care if you yell at your screen and say, oh, go down because I just shorted, but why are you going up? It doesn't care. You can't have those thoughts. So that's why I'm not in a Bitcoin short position. Although I might have put a short with a fairly tight stop on Litecoin in the no trade zone, but don't tell anybody. Don't tell on me. But I won't take much of a loss if it does scream up to like 70,000 first. I set tight stop, so I can't really lose a lot. So you know, like say if I put $1,000 in it, I stop, maybe lose 15, something like that. Not very much. If I guessed wrong, you know, but I wasn't the house, you know, so my chance of losing that $15, I think it might be 50% or greater before it then goes down. I'm almost certain I'm right about it going down, but I don't have the house odds on timing. So anyway, control yourself. So actually I couldn't control myself. I freaking shorted it in the no trade zone. See, I broke my own freaking rule. Right when I was getting ready to hit click, I was like, you know what? This is no trade. You just told like how many thousands of people no trade zone. But I managed my losses, right? But not all of you had the time to be in front of a computer a lot. It's harder to manage your losses. But it's easy to milk your gains because that's what you're used to doing, buying and praying. Before it falls flat 40% after seeing it go up. But anyway, control yourself. Your mentality until Bitcoin... really, until it hits the weekly 21 moving average, you need to be focusing on hitting singles. Don't try to hit grand slams. Don't expect to hit home runs. Don't. For the next 4 or 5 weeks, singles, 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 okay? And one of my mentors, whom I've mentioned multiple times on my channel, like his mentor told him that. So I'm repeating something that is kind of common when you're clicking around. You have to form your mentality. Now, once stuff gets glorious again, Bitcoin corrects and starts screaming, okay, look for your dang home runs. You should expect home runs. You should seek out home runs. Right now is singles. Singles, singles. Don't swing for the fences right now, okay? It's going to be boring until we get some red dildos and screaming down. Then it'll be scary, but still, don't be looking. Just still want to bunt or hit singles while it's going down, okay? You need to be thinking about that. You just got Timified. Hey, new viewers, if you liked what you saw, hit subscribe. But if you do hit subscribe, you are mandated by the fine print to let me know if you want to be a cryptillion or a crypto crackhead. You must choose your crypto pronoun. Peace.